Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to Manifest Monday, and we are the Spot Network. I'm DG, aka Diamond Fit Life, Bomb Bro. We got DJ Zenas in the building, and we got my brother Ramond, man. We are the Spot Network. And today's topic is a good one. We're going to talk about cancel culture. Most of the time, I think every one of us here, we hear that term a lot, right? Cancel culture. So today we just want to like dive into it and actually understand what that actually is. To be honest, man, I heard this shit all the time, cancel culture. I never really took the time to actually dive in, understand, research what that actually is. So what is my question is what is exactly is cancel culture? What is that?
Man, I mean, you got the culture of being canceled. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what that's it,
On the
man.
on the si- in the simplest terms, man. I think it's like we built like a kind of like a literally like a culture of like when people kind of do shit that enough people feel like is out of bounds,
Right.
then we quote unquote cancel them, right? And it's kind of like get them out of there, get them out of their position, and stop supporting them. Um, but like I feel like that, like it's like people just throw around weird
Right.
words like that sometimes, right? Like you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? What does that even? What does it really
Right.
mean? Is the better question.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cancel culture is a culture of being like um, outraged by something, and we're like, yo, we done fucking with that.
Right.
Are we? Are we ever really? You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So the better question is it real? I
Right.
think I think most of us kind of understand what it is in theory, but is it real, man?
Right.
You know, is cancel culture real?
Right. What's your take on that, Z?
Is it real or what is
Yeah,
cancel culture?
I mean
Both,
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 right?
both.
Both. Like, what is it?
Uh,
What is real?
I mean, what you touched on is pretty much what cancel culture is. If we look at the textbook definition of what cancel culture is, I read cancel culture refers to the practice of publicly withdrawing support from a person or entity, often on social media, due to actions or statements considered offensive or unacceptable. So that is what cancel culture is
Wow.
technically.
Social
Um,
media is in the definition is
Social
crazy.
media being in the definition is crazy. So it's pretty much like, oh, we're just like not going to follow you or support you anymore, but primarily on social
Right.
media, like, so which is interesting, right? But does it exist? I don't know. To me, it honestly feels like more of a facade than anything. Like I think it's are there people who make decisions, especially who are in the limelight, that shouldn't be supported anymore? Absolutely. You know,
Right.
there's plenty of examples that I could give, but at the end of the day, it's everyone's free will to whether they want to still continue to support that person, listen to their music, read their books, buy their product, whatever the case is. Um, I think it more so boils down to what your own personal values and morals are as a like from as a mass uh audience or whatnot. I don't know if if it truly exists. Maybe it does.
Right.
I think it's more so like the idea that there are repercussions for everyone's actions, regardless of what platform or stage you built or how successful you are as a person, how much money you have.
Right.
Right? I think everyone should be held accountable. But is that level of accountability really real? Nah, I don't think
Right.
so.
Right. Uh, Let me just go in the comments real quick. Marcus said liberals. I think Andrew Tate prove it not to be real. Kel says conservatives invented the term cancel culture to ironically cancel others. Those are good points. Yeah, I feel like that's dope. But also, don't you think like nowadays we're just maybe too sensitive? Maybe that's one of the reasons why cancel culture exists. Because I think if you look at freedom of speech, right? It's freedom. I think we should be able to like say whatever we want, right, to a certain level. But I think what I believe, just what I've heard, whenever you say things that go against the grain, most often like people want to cancel you, right? If you're
Hmm.
conservative, right, you see other people are saying things that you don't agree with, right? When people have different opinions to what you once believe, right? Now you're like, oh shit, this person is saying these things. I don't agree with that. Let's cancel this person. So I feel like it reached to a point that you can really be open nowadays, especially as an influencer or someone in the public eye, to say what you really want, because
Hmm.
other people might find that offensive, and now they want to cancel you. So it just kind of like makes it harder for us to actually have like freedom of speech. So one of those things, man. Like I think just our generation nowadays, we're so I'll say, man, we're so weak, bro. Like we just take everything too personal nowadays, too. You know. So I think it's just like one of those things that like I'm trying to like learn more about. But at the end of the day, I think like people shouldn't get canceled because it says something, right? I think it should be more about what they're actually doing. Because I think it's good to have like different opinions, different viewpoints, and at the end of the day, we can all decide what we really want. Because at the end of the day,
Hmm.
without good, you don't really know what bad is. I'm not if that person's actually like doing harm to other people, then yeah, that's the difference, right? But if I say I believe in a certain thing, this is what I stand for. Like I shouldn't be canceled because of my perspective or my beliefs.
I,
You,
That's
I don't know. I
I
wholeheartedly
disagree.
disagree,
I
bro.
right.
wholeheartedly disagree, bro. That's crazy. Like okay, so
Yeah.
to break this
All
down,
right, let's break it down. Right.
I do
Correct.
think freedom of speech is very real and should exist. It is a right, right?
Right.
I think that's something that everyone is entitled to. However, what it is that you say and how you say it, you should understand as an adult that you are going to be held accountable for whatever it is that you're going to say. So
Correct.
at the end of the day, it's if you feel that way, you're more than welcome to share
Right.
those thoughts
Correct.
and to vocalize them. You just have to understand that whatever's waiting on the other end of that is your own doing. And so if I just went on public stage and was just like, let's say a prime example, right? Let's say Drake went on stage and was like, "Yeah, I love underage
I
women."
mean, so
You think that's cool? Like,
no,
bro,
no, no, that's not what I'm
you,
talking about, though. I'm not talking about like, oh, let's go and kill black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about like your viewpoint on certain things, right? Certain beliefs, right? I'm not just
but
talking about, oh, like, let's
that's a belief though. Like that's absolutely a belief. Like I believe I could be out here messing with underage women. Like if Drake went on public
no,
stage and said that,
right.
that
I
would
mean,
be
that was
crazy, bro. Like
right,
that would be
right. That's
nuts.
that's that's different. Though. That's what that's not what I'm
How's
talking
that
about.
different? I'm like, you're literally just sharing. He shared his thoughts. If that's
No, but
really how
like,
he feels and he vocalized it, I'm like, bro, like you
no,
just gotta
but
be, you gotta be understanding that your
no.
actions, what you say and what you do,
What a
you will be
caveat.
held
Right,
accountable for. Yeah,
right,
absolutely. As adults,
right,
whatever you say or whatever you do, you will be held accountable for your actions,
right.
typically. Or
Correct.
that's
I
the
agree.
idea. Like
Right,
that's the concept, right?
right.
That's the concept of what justice is. Like,
Correct.
oh well, justice will always prevail. I don't believe in that. I think this whole system is flawed in so many ways. But I do think that because of things like money, power, success, fame, all that stuff, people do get away with a lot of things because they can say they can do whatever they want because of their status,
Right.
simply, which is crazy. When people say like we're all created equal, I'm like, are we really though? Like, are we all equal in saying like I can go and say whatever I want, and do whatever I want to the degree of like a white counterpart or something like that? Nah, like we know what the reality of the situation is. But I absolutely wholeheartedly disagree
Right.
that people should not be able to say whatever it is that they want and not face repercussions. Like I think that's just like what life is.
Right. No, I do agree. I think I rephrased that wrong, right? Not whatever they want, right? I was just talking about mostly like political ideologies. For example, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump, but his Twitter or whatever shouldn't get banned because he said some certain thing about politics, right? In regards to like Democratic Party, I don't know what exactly he said. I believe that I'm not a big fan of him. He shouldn't get banned off Twitter or what any platform because he has a different belief about politics. Those are the things I'm talking about. I'm not if
Mhm.
he was gonna go out there and say like fucking kill all black people, right? Like kill all Asian. That's different, right? But I'm just talking about having like different political ideologies and believe about those things. You shouldn't get banned. You shouldn't get canceled because you're conservative, right? Because you believe that women should whatever get married or men should do these things, right? That's your belief. You shouldn't get canceled because of those things that are not actually hurting people.
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you going on TV saying like, man, I want underage girl, nah, you should be canceled for that. But that's
Okay, so let me ask you this. So when Elon Musk went on public television and did a Nazi salute, like like should he be held accountable for those actions?
I
I mean,
mean, how,
it's free will, right? Like he can go up there and do whatever you want.
I don't like. I don't know. How do we know it's a Nazi like salute, right? Because there are other pictures of Barack doing the same thing, right? Barack was doing the same thing. Should we cancel Barack because he did similar gesture of that? So I mean, we don't really know. I think nowadays we just form our opinions to
I
like.
think that's different. I think that's different. But let's back it up and
Alright.
say, let's say he said he was doing it, like it did it and then said, yeah,
Yeah, like
Nazi salute, you
that
know,
was a Nazi salute, absolutely.
you
But
know. But let's say, yeah,
he didn't
yeah,
confirm it
like
though,
if he,
right?
no, but no. This is
No,
a
but let's say that he
hypothetical of
did.
like he said, like that's what I just did. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Because
Should we
it's
cancel?
hard
Like,
to just just off of off little actions that we not sure. But let's say he did say
to be
that's.
honest, bro, I would say we should even still cancel him. You know, I personally be honest. If I'll be honest, I would say like, yeah, it's fucked up that he did that, but we shouldn't cancel him because he did that. You know, I don't know. That's my take on that.
I think I'm sitting. I'm gonna read what he said, but I think I'm sitting where kind of Mark L
Right.
said. He said consumers have the right to make choices about where they spend their resources, whether that's money, time, or attention.
Hmm.
It's reasonable for folks to support organizations that align with them, and I
Facts.
think
Facts.
that's kind of what that's what it is, and that's why it's interesting because on the truth part of it, um, that's why I'm not sure if cancel culture is actually real because sometimes what's weird about it is if you say something like too radical, then there's another side that's going to support you even more,
Right.
right? So there's the people that's going to say that we should be canceling them, but there's going to be somebody like, oh, he's been saying what I've been wanting to say. I've
Hmm.
been feeling the same way as that.
Hmm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And there's still
Right.
another side that aligns with it if it's radical usually. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I don't know if like and Tracy's asking right now what the topic's about. It's about cancel culture. I don't know if it's actually real, but I do think that like Z said, like people have to be held accountable for
I agree.
for what their actions and what they say. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially if it's it's hard it's hard to say like what's harmful and what's not too. Sometimes it's not to some people and then it is to others.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
like I don't want to get too far into it and I'm making this a political episode, but like somebody just might not be for DEI for whatever reason and
Right.
it's not, it's not harmful for him, but it might be for somebody else. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
like that's you gotta be held held to your word because what else do we have besides action? Really, it's it's kind of like thought becomes words, words become action. So the words people have to be held to. I think
Right.
Hmm.
that's just what it is, man. And I don't know what cancel, and I don't really like I said I don't know what it is to necessarily be canceled. Like let's get specific. Like who do we think like was successfully canceled?
Hmm.
R. Kelly.
Just
I
that's
think
like the biggest. That's the biggest thing I could. One of the biggest things I could think of, right?
R.
yeah.
Kelly was successfully.
I,
But my caveat to
Diddy's
that,
on his way.
my
right. I don't think
caveat
Diddy's on his
I
way.
think
to
yeah, he
that
went
is
to
like
jail.
but that's my piece, right? Like, right, is canceled the same as just going to jail for a long time?
Right.
Because that's what I
Correct.
was thinking when I was thinking about that. I'm like, the ones that I could think of that have been canceled is like going to jail
Right.
for a long time. Like,
Hmm.
and if you sit down, then I don't. Are you canceled? Like, we just don't know. Like, if R.
Right.
Kelly was out and he was still making music, would he be canceled?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I
That,
mean? Like,
that's a
so
good point.
that's kind of like my caveat on it is like is canceled the same as being like in jail for a long time? And if we separate them, can you think of somebody who didn't go to jail for a long time that we consider canceled?
I would say canceling, like I would say R. Kelly is no different, right? Because he went to jail. But I would say cancel was Andrew Tate because that they got rid of him on Instagram and what like Twitter. I think at one point before he got reinstated back on Twitter. So I say he got canceled, right?
Hmm.
Because he wasn't in jail, and then his Instagram got banned. IG kicked him out. YouTube kicked him out. Even Gmail kicked him out, right? So I would say he actually got canceled because he didn't got arrested for any of those things yet, right?
Hmm.
But all his social platform got deleted. It was banned. So I would say that's a person I can say got canceled. Like our killer, on the other hand, is like someone else did a crime and then he got guilty and went to jail. I don't think he got. I wouldn't say he got canceled because like it's not like he was big on social media and then they deplatform him, right? He didn't. None of those things actually
But
happened.
I think it's taboo
Right.
now to like listen
Right.
to his music though.
Right.
Like I think if somebody were playing R. Kelly in public. Like I know me personally, like whenever I hear another DJ play R. Kelly, I tell him to turn it off. I, I literally go up to the DJ and I'm like, turn it off.
Why if he doesn't turn it off?
I mean, that's his choice, right? Like, I mean, like, I can't control him, but I'm definitely gonna let my opinion be known. I'm like, nah, you should turn that off.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. But then that's cancel culture, right? Because then there's like somebody probably in the building, like, man,
Right.
he brave enough to still play it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We separating the music and the we separating the art and the person. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying? Like
nah.
there's people that would say that
I,
though, right? Like
There's a
there'd be
lot of people
somebody in
say
the
that.
same club. I'm sure there's somebody
yeah,
in the same club that you
I'll
telling them
say
to turn it
that.
off to be like turn it up. You know what I mean?
I think at the end of the day, sometimes I think we're all delusional, right? Because at the end of the day, you can still separate the artist from the music, from the artist, the person from their music. Because like we see, it's a lot of things, right? If you look at the iPhone, all the shit that goes on in like making an iPhone. There are kids in Africa, like if you look at, I think I forgot what's the article it's called about cobalt, right? It's like a mineral that's used making iPhone. There are kids like they're starving, going through a lot of shit, even or dying to even like get that exact mineral to make iPhone. So should we stop using the iPhone, knowing the history behind the iPhone, all the technology that we're using nowadays? Like China sweatshops, all these things we're using. Like, should we stop doing those things? If you want to even go deeper, right? Like animals, all that. Do we know about all the meat stuff we're eating? Do we know what abuse and other shit the animals are going through for us to have these things on our table? Should we stop eating meat because of those things? So at the end of the day, I feel like sometimes we're just delusional, right? Because we can see it right away. Oh, we saw what he did, we heard about it, but other things we try to like play dead, right? Oh, shit, I don't know what the iPhones are made, so I can use iPhone all day. I don't know what everything else is being made. So that's why from that belief, I think that we can separate the artist from his music because there are a lot of shit that going on that we use nowadays that has a lot of like sweat and negative stuff behind it, right?
Hmm.
So that's
And it's a weird thing too when you think about like what you're talking about specifically, right? It's kind of like it's so weird in like public figure
right,
things, right? Because we like to just aim directly at the people that are in the face of that thing, and a lot of times it's black people doing it to black people.
for
If they
sure,
deserve it, I'm it is what it is, right? Like I'm not
absolutely,
trying to cap for cake for nobody, but a lot of times we just aim that cancel outrage hate
right,
at people in these in I don't know in these positions, right? Like, but a lot of times it's black people doing it to black people.
Hmm.
You
always,
know what I'm saying? Whether it's if it's extreme shit, then they got to be out of there. But even if it's not extreme shit, a lot of times we trying to get them out of there. You know what I mean? Like I'm almost wondering if sometimes it's like if it's a little bit of still of the crabs in the barrel mentality of like not wanting them to be in position at all, even if it's not something extreme. If it's extreme, then I agree. Like
right,
get them the fuck out of there. They don't deserve to be in power. But if it's not, we still trying to like, you know what I mean? Oh, he did. A lot of times they did something that you do,
right,
right? Like if like they might be trying to cancel somebody for cheating, but it's the dude that's the dude and woman that then cheated on each other,
right,
like yelling at it.
right. It's
You know what I
crazy.
mean? And it's like
Facts, facts.
it's like what are we talking about? You know what I
Right.
mean? Are we so here's my next question to y'all. Is it fair for us to put like higher expectations on people in position than we do on ourselves?
I mean, yes and no, right? Because I would say yes in the sense that because leaders are in position of power, they are able to influence people and lead people in the right way. So you look up to them, people emulate them, people want to be like them. So yes, right? Because if you're in a position of power, we expect you to act and behave in a certain way because now you have massive influence over people. What you say, because I can tweet something, it wouldn't mean that much, right? But it's Trump right now tweet some crazy shit, it's gonna more people are gonna be impacted about those decisions and what they say. No, on the other hand, that like we are fucking humans, right? At the end of the day, you know humans behave a certain way, so there are things that they are influenced to do. So for me personally, like I don't really, I know they're leaders, like I expect them to do a certain things, but at the end of the day, I'm not surprised when they do shit that I'm like, oh shit, they're human beings, like. I'll probably do some shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Or other people might do shit like that. So that's kind of I'm like yes and no. It depends on the situation.
Yeah, I agree with DG. I think people. it's just like the quote says, with great power comes great responsibility. I think when you have achieved a particular status, power, level of wealth, those types of things, you're placed under a particular microscope. Now, whether that's fair or not,
Right.
that's open to perception, whether it's fair or not. But I know I can speak for myself personally. I hold myself to an extremely high standard. So regardless of what status that I ever achieve in life, I'm still gonna be the exact same person because I hold myself to that same standard. So any standard that I hold anyone else to, especially a person in power, I'm holding myself to that same standard. So I could care
Sure.
less, like because I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not sitting here and pointing the finger at somebody else and being like, "Oh, you can't do that," but then I go and do it. Like
Right.
that's just absurd, and I think that is what a lot of people do. But I know speaking for myself, I hold myself to an extremely high standard, and I hold especially those people like who are deemed as quote unquote leaders,
Right.
in our society. They absolutely should be held to the highest standard because that's just it's the burden that comes along with it, and
Right.
if you can't bear that burden, then maybe you shouldn't have that power.
Right. And
I'm with
like
you on that.
yeah, and like Z said, I'm talking mostly about just leaders, right? Like president and all that, VPs and all that. Like with celebrity, I don't care, right? Because like at the end of the day, I think people can make their own decision. That's why people are, oh yeah, you're supposed to be a role model. Like why are you twerking? Like she's a regular person, like her twerk, right? She's a celebrity. She's not in like it's not like she's like the VP or those people, right? So I don't know. I feel like celebrities are a little different. Yeah, we
Mhm.
still want to hold them to a certain regard, but however, man, they're still humans, bro. That's why I really don't care when people are like, oh, this person do this. I'm like, they're just celebrities. Like people just have money. Like, what do you expect them for you to like live your life and be Jesus Christ? No, they're not going to be Jesus Christ. They're
Mhm.
just like you and myself with money. So,
That's
all
Yeah.
right.
right.
Myself with money. That's usually what it is too, and especially like when you think about like just like I think music artists is just always a big one because
Right.
what they really are is just like hyper talented at
Right.
something, right? They can make music and articulate ideas really well onto something that people can listen back to and end up loving.
Right.
That's really all it is. And
Right.
then you get a whole bunch of, fame and money from it sometimes. That's what happens. And it's just like you're put in position because you're hyper
Right.
talented at something.
Mhm.
That's the only thing, right? Like, you know what I mean? So then we start
And
being like they shouldn't be doing this, but I'm
right.
doing it. But it don't matter if I do it because they're
Right.
not. I'm not. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I do agree. Like if it's in people in positions of like power that can
Correct.
change things. But
Right.
somebody would argue that celebrities are in position of power because they have influence,
Yeah,
I agree
absolutely.
to a certain level.
Absolutely.
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
should someone like an artist be held to a higher platform than a regular person just because they're an artist? They make music.
Yeah, because you have influence. I think
Right.
that's
Oh,
that's status. Like
right.
to me, like at the end of the day, that's status that comes along with that. Now, whether you choose to do so or not, that's your own choice. But like,
Right.
I think anyone that has the influence to, or excuse me, the ability to influence others, you have to take that into consideration, or you should. I'm not going to say you have to, but it is something that you should take into consideration. And I know a lot of people are always like, well, I'm just a person.
I
And
mean,
you are at the end of the day. Like we are all just people. I totally understand that. Like I get both sides. Like at the end of the day, we're just human beings. We're going to make mistakes, but also when you have that ability to influence so many people, to DG's point, a lot of people look up to you. Like a lot of people want to be you
right.
or similar to you. And what you say and what you do, you have to understand. Like I think about it like the uncle mentality, right? Like I like what I say and what I do, like I have to understand that like probably at some point, especially if I were in a position of an extreme position of like influence and stuff like that, would I be okay with my nieces and nephews seeing me say this or seeing me do that and whatnot? And now, granted, I'm not always going to be perfect. I'm not, like I'm going to make
right.
mistakes, but that's just the standard that I hold myself to, like, and I also like, if I were in a position of power, I would just understand that's what comes along with it. Like I said, it is a burden. Now, like I said, whether it's fair or not, that that is
right.
that is that is subject to debate. Like, whether that is fair or not.
Right.
But like I said, I think that just comes with the
Right.
territory.
Yeah. It's hard when I think about that because I do agree, right? I think that, when you move to status, naturally responsibility comes with it.
Right,
But then I think about like a new culture of like someone being 19
right,
and they song go viral
right.
tomorrow, they get a whole bunch of money, shows
Exactly.
lined up,
Right.
and they not an uncle, they're not uncle ready
They
yet.
just having
Like
Yeah,
they're
fun.
19. They
yeah,
just got a whole bunch
absolutely.
of money and a lot of people like this song and now they
Hmm.
on tour.
Right,
Hmm.
People be 40 years old holding them to a same
right.
thing as them.
I
Like, bro,
agree.
you were wilder than him at 19 and you didn't even have that type
Fact,
of money. You
fact.
know what I'm saying? So I
Right,
think that sometimes I think it's tough when you think about like age has to play a piece in this, right? Like
Hmm.
right,
Absolutely.
me with if something happens now where I get a whole bunch of money, me at 33 is gonna move different than 23 and 13.
right,
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
right.
Like, so age has to play a piece in this. You know what I mean? For sure.
Hmm.
No,
Absolutely.
I agree. Also, man, it's a hard one, right? Because at the end of the day, part of me would be like, man, like you gotta like nowadays we have social media, like we have discretion to decide who we want to follow, right? It's our choice, so I can decide who I want to follow. So just because like that 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid that Ramon is talking about became famous tomorrow morning, he doesn't have to live his life. I get it. Like we all should strive to be better, like human race, right? At the end of the day, to be better. Cool, that's the goal. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't be held to a certain standard. Oh, you can't cuss, you can't say a certain thing. Because I saw a video of LeBron, he was like talking, he was cussing a lot, right? And then people in the comments like, "Why are you cussing?" Their kids fucking listening to you. Like, what? Like, I feel
Kids fucking listening to you
like,
too.
those are the kind of things I'm talking about. Like, if you your parents like don't listen to him, right? You train your kids to listen to someone else, right? So you shouldn't be like held to a certain standard just because you're an athlete or you have
Yeah.
this position of influence. Those are the things that I'm talking about because people are just being delusional. Like,
Yeah.
don't cuss now,
Yeah.
so DG, because like the Spot Network has 1 million followers. You can't be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be goofy no more because you got to be
Yeah.
serious
Yeah.
all the fucking
Yeah.
time. How am I
Yeah.
supposed
Yeah.
to live that way? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Well,
it's just one of those things that's kind of
I
hard.
think that boils down to privacy. I think when you break that down, like people are always going to be different in public than in private. Now, if
Right,
LeBron was giving a speech at like a school in cussing, then I'd be like, nah, like
right,
you should not be doing that. Like, like especially like giving like a speech at a school or something like that. Now, if he was having a private conversation and talking to his homies and cussing, bro, like that's a private conversation. At the end of the day, like that's the whole idea of what privacy is. Like
right,
you don't go out and do shit in public that you probably do in private. Like, I mean, like that's just we're all human beings. We all understand that. And so in these types of situations, I feel like things get misconstrued because at the end of the day, these are private conversations. Now, I think you still have to hold the subject like of like what the private conversation does entail. Like if he was talking about like if he was in a private conversation was just like, all white people are the devil.
right.
That's a
That's
private
different,
conversation,
right?
but it's still like I don't know if you should have said that. Like,
Right, right,
but that's your own opinion, right?
right,
And at the end of the day, this was a private conversation. And you just have to face the repercussions that this private conversation was now made public, at the end
right,
of the day. And that's just what comes along with it. Like I said, that's the burden that these people of status and whatnot
right,
bear.
right,
Like I said, we don't know whether that's fair or not,
right,
but all we do know
right,
is what we can't control.
right. So my
And at the
my
end of the
question. Okay, are you done? Oh, my bad, bro. Sorry for
No, no, I'm
interrupting.
done. I'm done.
No, my question is: should that person be canceled for that private conversation? Right. Let's say if that was a white person and they said the N word in private, right? Should they be canceled now because they said the N word in private, and now we all it's all public, right? So should that person be canceled because they said that?
I think it depends on the context of how they used it.
Man, F these niggas. Should they get canceled there, right? Because it was private conversation. Because like, think about sometimes we having a conversation, right? We said some fucking crazy, funny stuff, right? That I wouldn't want people hearing that in public, right? I wouldn't want my job
Yeah,
hearing shit like I
absolutely.
be talking about in private. So,
Yeah,
should I get fired now because I said some fucked up shit? Z and I was just goofing around. That's kind of what I look at it, right? So, should those people get canceled because,
yeah.
like, this?
My answer is yes. It depends on the It depends on the context. Like if a white person was like, f all these n words, they ain't shit. Like I wish we could just get rid of them. I'd be like, yeah, we should absolutely cancel that person. Like because now it changes the perspective, right? Because now when I see Susie at work, I know exactly how she feels about me. And that's where it changes. Like if you can keep those thoughts and whatnot to yourself in private, that's cool. Like, because now we can play that pretend and put on that front. We know what that is, like, but now I know exactly how you feel. And
Right,
like I know you were just hiding it for this whole time. And at the end of the day, a lot of these come, for instance, you brought up like should people get
right,
fired? Like
right,
if those values and morals don't align with what the company culture is,
right,
that's where I think things get shaky because it's just like, well, now all of a sudden you become a liability to us as a company because now we're going to be associated with whatever it is that you said or did.
right,
And that's why I do understand on the other side of things, especially from a professional
right,
perspective, is I'm not saying you're not entitled to your own opinion, but
right,
your opinion does not align with what it is that we embrace here at this company and in our culture. So therefore,
right,
you no longer have a fit or a role here.
right.
So therefore, your ass is
That
out.
that
So
right.
and that and that's the reality of it.
That's a good one. But I have another follow-up
I'm
question.
I'm gonna just I just want I
Go
want to
ahead,
double
Ron.
down. I just want to double down on that on that same thing because um to me I don't even I might be a little more radical on the subject of like if you say it maybe you out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter how you say it, and this is
Right,
why because I, the word that word like carries weight. You know what I'm
right,
saying? For
right,
you to either feel comfortable about it
right,
or just think that you can kind of put that into the world without any repercussions.
right,
That's not the case. That's
right,
not the case. You know what I'm saying? There's, I think that people get so used to just kind of being able to do what they want to do.
right,
There's certain things that should be cut off, right? So no matter how, I'm thinking about like if I hired a white
right,
person to work for my business or something,
right.
there's certain shit that like it might not be against the law, but you can't, you can't work for what we got going on being like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Right,
ain't against that, but you cancel to me,
right.
that shit
Hmm.
is out of bounds. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's how
But
I'm
what if
looking
they
So,
what if they
at
what
it.
if they were like singing a song?
no,
They were
that's what I was
singing a
gonna
song
say.
and
That
said,
was my follow-up question, right? What if they were singing "Freaky
You might
Friday"?
get you might get one time, but like, bro, don't ever say that shit again.
What's up,
Time
man?
they every
What's up?
yeah, they better, you know what I'm saying? They better be ninja. Even then, it's like, bro, what'd you say? You know the,
I
you
mean,
know what
would
I
you give
mean?
him a pass though if they were like singing like Chris Brown, "Freaky Friday"?
I
What's
think
up? Hello,
I think to be honest, this is my honest opinion, and it's not, it's my personal opinion.
Right,
I'm not gonna put this on anybody else. If I see somebody doing it out of fun, I still don't think it's
right,
cool. So I'm having a
right,
conversation. I've had this conversation before,
right,
Mhm.
and we'll probably again. I'm having that conversation one time, but it's only one
right,
that I'm telling somebody this shit ain't cool around me or them,
right,
or you know what I'm saying. It's on you if you know what I'm saying. Like if you
Mhm.
think that shit's cool. Keep saying it everywhere and see if you gonna keep making it out of different
Yeah.
places. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I'm gonna be the cool dude to tell you that shit ain't cool.
right.
Don't do it here or probably not anywhere
Yeah.
else. If you do, you keep saying it out loud and see how that shit pay out. You know what I'm saying? If
Hmm.
it's funny and cool and you just singing the song, keep doing it out and see if it's gonna always be like that. That's what I tell you. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing it. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, like that shit ain't cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
uh,
that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Ramona's like, you can sing my lyrics. Just don't repeat after me. Don't just say anything I
Yeah.
say.
Well, and see, the thing is, what's funny is because people, it's become such a huge part of Black culture, right?
Right.
And we understand and recognize that Black culture is probably at its height,
Correct.
right? Like hip hop might be the most influential genre in the world. I think rap has like ascended past pop music. Maybe not. Like pop music is still very extremely relevant.
It's
Like,
up there though.
the,
Yeah.
the Taylor
The pop
Swifts of the world and
pop
whatnot.
music
Right.
want
But
they want to get the rappers on their
yeah,
Right.
songs for sure.
but
You
they
know what I'm saying?
exactly, because that's just how much weight it holds nowadays and how much our culture does. But a lot of people act like it's just like so hard to edit out. I haven't said the N word in 7 years. Like I have to be very intentional about not using that
Right.
word, but it's something that I keep like I can remember vividly the last time that I said the word,
Right.
and like I said, that was 7 years ago. Actually, probably 8 years ago now. Actually, yeah, 2017. So I can vividly remember the last time I used the N word, and for people to make it seem like, oh, it's just like so hard to eliminate. No, it's not. You just
Right.
have to be mindful of it. Like,
Right.
and it's not like it's all like, I was just having fun. I was just singing a
Right.
song. That's cool. But like, you absolutely understand that like there's certain things that just aren't for you. And I know that white people sometimes feel the need to just insert themselves into everything.
Right.
But like this just ain't for you, my brother. So like I'm gonna need you to just like sit down and be humble and know your place. At the
Right.
end of the day, like this is not for you, so don't use it. At the end of the day. But like I think it's so funny that people are just like, oh, it's just like so, and I mean that on both sides.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, like my own personal opinion is that no one should use the
Right.
word, which is why I don't use the word. I could
Right.
not be sitting here and use it like being a hypocrite
Right.
and throwing it in people's faces like, oh, like, yeah, like I can say it, but you can't. Like,
Right.
nah, like
Right.
I just have the own personal belief that no one should use it, which is
Right.
why I don't.
I
And at the
agree.
end of the day, I practice what I preach,
Right.
but to me, it's just so absurd that some people think it's just like so, like it is the like toughest thing in the world to eliminate. And
Right.
I'm like, you just don't care
Right.
enough, is really what
Uh,
it is.
right. Yeah, I agree, Z. I think that's a good point, and I think you actually living by example, right? You're not using it, so you expect other people not to use it. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember, right? It was Joe Rogan. There were a couple episodes he said the N word, and there was a huge backlash, right? People were trying to cancel him. Like, so, like, what do you guys think? Should people cancel him because he used the N word? Like, it was so many episodes that he used the N word. I mean, he wasn't like just listening to those episodes. It's not like he was using it like a derogatory term, but he still said it. So, should he be canceled because of those because of that? Or what do you guys think?
This goes back into like the situation is, can somebody, right?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I think the last thing that Markel said on here is a perfect thing for this question. He said, better question, should I still
Correct.
support them?
Yeah.
It's an individual choice. I can't
Right.
make other people resign their support, right? So I mean that's kind of the best way to put it, right? I don't know if it can be canceled. The only way I guess the thing that I'm thinking about more as we talk about this, it almost seems like the only way you can actually be canceled is if you go to jail. So if it's by the government or it's by businesses that back you,
Right.
right? If he lost his sponsors, that's technically
Right.
canceled, right?
Yep.
Or if
Right.
he's lost like the businesses and like you said, Andrew Tate with, getting canceled on,
Right.
all these media platforms. So
Right.
if the media platforms or if they silence you, that's a whole different thing. Maybe that's an actual cancellation. Maybe that's the only way you can actually do it. But if that's not happening, then it's really just people making a decision on
Right.
if I still fuck with it or not.
Right.
Yeah.
If enough people don't fuck with it, then it'll naturally cancel itself, right?
Right.
Like
Yep.
if I got 1 million people that fuck with me and then 600,000 of them say we don't anymore,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Then I can't natural cancellation of myself, right? And usually that comes with less money, less opportunities. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So
Hmm.
natural cancellation in itself. And for me, I think to answer that directly though, it's up to the person if they still want to support
Right.
that. To me, that would be out of bounds to me. I'm not fucking with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, by the end of the day, though, right, correct. I mean, I agree, right? I feel like we are allowed to make our individual choice. But my thing is, right, so you're still giving that person a platform, right, to still talk about whatever he's talking about, to still say these things, right? So at the end of the day, it's like he's still out there, like saying these things, and that's gonna like go back to our the conversation we were having earlier. Cancel culture mostly exists in the black community for the most part there. Because sometimes you see white folks saying a lot of stuff and they get away with it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just nothing, right? But it's crazy, right? It's mostly happening like the black community, in my opinion. Then like the white
You know
person
what it made me
saying,
think? Well, my bad to
"Go
cut you, but
ahead,
you know
bro."
what it made me think while you're saying this, bro? It just actually made me think of something. A lot of times, black people in general are not in the highest positions of power
Correct.
to be able to necessarily pull the plug on somebody, or you know what I mean, like to
Right.
to cancel them like that, right? So if we're not usually in the position to actually cancel somebody. The only one that could really cancel a black person is us by the support of it, and then
Right.
somebody else in position that can pull the resources towards it,
Right.
right? But if it's, maybe a white person, right, in position, if black people say we're not fucking with it no more, but the positions of power
Correct.
don't pull the plug,
Right. He's
then nothing really
still not
changes.
cancer. Correct.
Maybe some people stop supporting it or stop listening a little bit,
Very
but
few
nothing
people.
really changes.
Right.
Mhm.
Still there.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I feel like we're just held to even a higher standard as black people because it's like I think like if like let's say like let's just do this real quick. If the Spot Network was like sponsored by a huge white owned brand,
Right.
let's go there, right? We're
Mhm.
sponsored by that, but most of our base was black,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And we said some shit that pissed the black community off. Like we, you know what I'm saying, just was all the way against it. And a lot of our backlash was crazy,
Right.
right? I could see them wanting to put a plug on us, not necessarily because they're moral,
Right.
but like your fan base ain't fucking with you.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the way that we can cancel ourselves in that case.
Correct.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the black people kind of that championed us, maybe not, not supporting us no more. And then somebody that might had been in, the sponsor or something like that pulls the plug there. And then that's what a cancellation looks like in our culture. And a lot of times, like you said, it's like we canceling each other, but that's kind of how, in my position, while you were saying that, it was setting in.
Right.
It's like that's how I think it happens.
Mhm.
Right. Then
Yeah.
what about? Go ahead, Z.
No, I was gonna say to your point, he is as black people, when we talk about burdens, right? I think that's just one of the biggest burdens that we bear as a people is we always have to hold ourselves to the highest standard, like in any regard, right? Like, we have to um be able to code switch, right? Like in order to, we can't be our authentic selves like in the workplace and stuff like that. Like, we have to hold ourselves to a whole different standard, and articulate ourselves in a very particular way so that people know that like I'm not whatever it is that you think I am, I'm not
Right.
that, but um it's like I said, I think this breaks down to whether or not it's fair. Is it fair or not? Like, well, that's also up to that's also up for debate, but yeah, I think that's just the burden we bear as people, who look like us is just we're always gonna have to hold ourselves to the highest standard and exceed that
Right.
tenfold. Whatever the average white man does, we have to multiply that by about 27, and then that's the standard of what we have to hold ourselves
Right.
to.
So my question then, should a white man be given a second chance? Right? Should people be given a second chance, right? Based on what they said, should they be given a second chance? For example, like, Joe Rogan, right? He made a public statement. He apologized, saying, "Oh, in this context that what I was saying, I wasn't trying to be racist." And actually, to be honest, I watched some of the videos, and if I had to like decide, judge, I don't think he was being racist, right? You could just listen to how in the context in which he said it, right? So my thing is like, should they be given a second chance to redeem themselves, or like once and done?
In that situation specifically,
Right, just like people like this type of situation.
like I said, I have like a one rule, right? Like what you know what I'm saying? First off, what's the context for sure, right? Then we had the conversation, or if that's the
Right,
apology. But if it's multiple, nah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And or how it
right,
was used, right? Like we said, like if it was like a straight hate statement, you know
right,
what I mean? I hate niggas.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of them. You know what I
Every
mean?
one of
That's
them.
not ain't no second chance on that.
You're
Yeah,
not coming back.
yeah.
You ain't coming that back from that. But if you was, you know what I'm saying? If you was like you said, it was a private, and you was what up, my nigga? Big up, my nigga. You shouldn't have been doing that. But that's maybe where we can have a conversation. Nigga, don't do that shit no more.
You
You
should.
know what I'm saying? You
No,
know, it's context is big for that for me.
so
Yeah.
so in that situation, right? If you was in charge of Instagram, right, and you were the last person to make that decision, like, should this person be allowed to have their platform? Like, would you say no, like, based on what they said behind the scene?
Like if I was
Let's start with this
Instagram,
one, Z.
Right.
Yeah, if you was
So right.
Mark Zuckerberg.
if I could
Right.
push
Right.
the button, green or
Right.
red, like all right,
Right.
we can cancel this person, we
Correct.
could not.
Right.
And Joe Rogan
Right.
said what he said.
Right. And more. Yeah. We get rid of his all social platforms if he was on that team to make that decision.
Uh, I
Good
think
question.
I don't know. I think that's a good. I think there's multiple things that you can take into consideration, and I'm
Right.
thinking about this from a business perspective,
Right.
right? So, to Pete's point, what context did he say it in? Right. So I think that's something to take into consideration. Also, be like, if we do cancel him, like, what are the repercussions of that, or like the benefits of it? Right. At the end of the day, we removed him from our platform because we thought this was
Yeah.
best
He's not saying the N
for
word no more.
to create the safe space that we want
Right.
for all of our audiences. Like that's what I think would probably be the thing that comes to mind. But like, there might also be a lot of backlash that comes along with that. Like if you cancel Joe Rogan is the most streamed podcast person like that exists, but do I think people will deserve second chances? Absolutely.
Right.
So if he used it in a context that I didn't think was like intentionally, like he was trying to be offensive, trying
Right.
to be racist. Do I agree with what he said? Absolutely not. And the thing is, like, it's just so beyond me that people just think like just so ignorantly that it is okay for them to say, like, right? Like, well, like I just didn't think it was that big of a deal. Well, yeah, you actually probably do know how big of a deal it is because to Pete's point earlier, go out and say it in public and just see how far it's gonna
Right.
get you, like, right? So you do know the context of that work. So like, don't sit here and try to act oblivious, like, oh, I just didn't know. Like, yes, you did. At the end of the day. But do I think people are deserving of second chances? Yes. So I think in that regard, I don't think I would. But I think we would probably issue him a warning, like
Strike.
when a strike, right? You get a strike on your account, another strike, like you out of there. We just letting you know, like Joe Rogan, I'm gonna pull you to the side. We're gonna have a conversation. Don't do this shit again. If you do, you out of there. Point blank period.
And that's how powerful the media platforms actually are. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that's and it's crazy because you think about like people who have built their platform on hate. It's
Right.
it's the platform still being built on it, right? And as crazy as it's gonna sound, is like it's back to what you were saying earlier, DG. It's like kind of limiting certain things does stop freedom of speech, right?
Right. Right.
Sometimes you got to think about if it's for the greater good or not.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it does
Right.
limit things.
Right.
So I got a random question for y'all real quick, right? If everybody had unlimited freedom of speech, right? Or just said exactly how they feel about everything in life, there was no public and private version of themselves, would the world be a better or worse place?
Damn. Ooh. That
That
that's a great question,
is
bro.
a really good question. I think
Damn.
I think I think it would be a worse place initially. In the short term, I think it would be a worse place because a lot of people gonna have a lot of shit to get off their chest, and they're gonna be saying it with their chest. So I think there would be a lot of controversy initially, but I think over time, I think it would be better because
Damn.
at the end of the day, we can just speak extreme. Nah, man, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. Actually, now that I think about that shit, I actually, I'm gonna say it's a worse place. Final answer. It's a worse
Think
Yeah,
so?
place. Final
bro.
answer.
Think the worst
Final answer.
Yeah.
place?
Final
I
answer.
mean, hold on. Let me ask you a follow up question. People like are people just joking or they're actually being serious, right? Because
There
sometimes
ain't
like
no
it's
joke.
just
There really ain't no. It says really no joking anymore. Like
right.
if somebody says something, like it's almost like we took away lying or hiding. Like we took away that. Like it's just like people had to just
Just tell the
say
truth.
exactly what they thought.
Oh,
They just tell the truth. This is exactly how I feel. Somebody asks you something. This is how I feel,
bro.
and you never have.
I, I should have said, damn, I would say better, bro, because I didn't think you just know how I feel, right? Because you're like, damn, that's how DG feels, that's how Z feels. So it's just like, I think we just call a lot of bullshit. It's gonna be real, right? Because like, damn, that's how you feel. Like, hey, man, you just meet a girl, you just be honest with her, tell her exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Not playing around like y'all like, hey, you got some sexy little nice titties, you know. That was one of my favorite lines, by the way, Ramond. That's one of my favorite
Hey,
lines.
Oh
you got
my
some sexy ass
God,
little
man.
titties, girl.
You know, I think just say what you want. Say what you want to say, bro. It's just gonna make things a lot easier. You go out this job interview, like, hey, bro, I'm just out here because I need this money. Like, I don't give a fuck about this job. I don't want to be here. Like,
Yeah,
I'm tired. Like, you pissing me off. I'm just here because I want to get paid. And just keeping it real.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I
like
think it'll
we
be better.
just here because we need somebody taking the mail upstairs, bro. Like we don't fuck with you at. Matter of fact, I hate your ass. Like you in here, damn near. I'm waiting for you to fuck up, cause bro, you got one time. I'm looking for shit. If I catch you on your phone one time, you're out of here.
I don't know,
I
bro.
hate you.
I would say it better because that way you know, right? You know how people feel. Because I would you can like act a certain way. Because I know if I'm on my phone, I'm gonna get fired. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
behave because I know Z gonna fire my ass, right? I know that for sure. So you're gonna help me behave a certain way. You know, I don't know. I
I
think
honestly,
there's not a
yeah,
right answer. It's not a
yeah.
right answer, but that
Yeah,
would be my
it's
take
just
on that one.
opinion because we never
Right,
will really know, right?
right,
Like there's a
right,
public like we like Z said, it's almost like the more you get pushed into the public, the
right,
less you are your actual self,
right.
right? Because you gotta like kind of play the game a little bit.
Yeah,
The less you can be your, you know what I mean? Like I think even like like let's say this, right? Like the more that we have public opinion, the less we can actually be ourselves. Even if you be the most authentic version of yourself, you have to still, the further you get into a public space, you have to, play the game a little bit, right?
right,
And I think that Kendrick made one of the biggest statements in the Super Bowl that's had been made in a Super Bowl form, right? Like, you know what I mean? It was like it had political pieces, it had, you know what I'm saying? It had, a diss song in it, like, you know what I'm saying? It was like one of the biggest statements and storylines as a like in protest form that I've seen, especially in the Super Bowl on a stage that big. But at the same time, he still had to limit himself, right?
right,
He couldn't say nigga up
right,
there. There were certain other words that he couldn't say.
right.
So as authentic as he could, as he was, there's still
Holding back.
things as far as the further you get into the game that you can't
Right,
fully do.
right,
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If you want to still play the, you know what I mean?
right.
So it's just it's interesting, man.
And that's true,
It's like the further
man.
you get into a public
Right,
space, the less you get to be the more authentic, version of yourself. You know?
right. I mean, it's same thing with relationship, right? There's certain things you can't say. If you're a girl, you gotta lie sometimes, right? She asks you, babe, how do I look today? You just gotta say, oh, man, you look great, right? You can't really say like everything. You can really be honest.
Yeah,
You know, so I think,
yeah.
yeah,
At the end of the day, like filters are in place for a reason. Like we
right,
have to filter ourselves in all aspects of our lives, right? Whether that be with significant others,
right,
whether that be with, you know, coworkers, whether that be with, in the church, and whatnot like that. Like filters exist for a reason, right? Because um you want to put on you want to put on your best your best face, I guess in
right,
public at
right,
all times. That's is a piece of it a facade art? Yeah, absolutely. Like,
right,
like this is who I am, but I'm also like, to your point, Pete, I'm playing the game a little bit, like you have to.
Yeah.
And the higher that you climb in life, the more you have to play the game. It's just a part of it, right? Like it comes with the territory. Like I said, that's a burden that you have to be willing to bear if you truly want to like ascend to that level. And you just have to
right,
understand that.
right. And going back to Ramon's question, I think, man, the world would be a lot better. To be honest, and so it'll be amazing, right? Just like, damn,
And
people just
listen,
out here just
this is just address it again before you, just so if they on here and they wasn't before. The question was, if no one in the world could lie, like if everybody had to say exactly what they was feeling at every moment of time, when
Yeah.
in every moment, would the world be a better or a worse place?
Right. I thought that should be the would you rather question. I think that's a great one. I don't know what
How do we? I'm
that's it.
with it, but how do we phrase it?
Would you rather continue to live life as is or be in a world where no one can lie?
Yeah.
Mm. Is
You
is
can
that
just,
the what you got? Is that what we're gonna do
I
today?
mean, let's do that.
No, I mean, we can do both.
We could
We
do
can do
both,
both of them.
right? Right. I
All
don't
right,
know,
let's
man. I
start with
think,
that one. Let's start
yeah.
with that
For me,
one.
I already said what I said before, but I would say, man, it'll be a better place because we'll just be honest with one another, man. Things will just be a lot more easier. You just know what my expectations are, and I would just know what your expectations are. You know your boundaries, your limit. I think it just make things a lot easier how to operate because you know this is how DG rolls. There are certain things that he's not gonna like, and it's gonna piss him off. You know, same thing with Ramon. Like, all right, this is how Ramon operate, right? If I
Hmm.
do these things, we're gonna get along well. Things are gonna be great. And if I do these things, if I'm white, if I say the N word, I know I'm gonna get in trouble, right? I know it's gonna be a problem. So it's just gonna make things a lot easier, bro. And then people are just gonna like behave accordingly. I mean, in the beginning, it'll be hurtful, right? Because people are
I,
just like, God damn,
Now, in
that's
the
what you're telling
beginning,
me.
it'll be dangerous, and it's further than just. Because I hear what Z was saying in the beginning. It's not just not hurtful. It's gonna get dangerous.
It's gonna be
It's
bad,
gonna
but
get
at the end of the day,
dangerous at the beginning.
but
You
I
know what
think
I'm saying?
once we get used to it, it would just be better. Because at the end of the day, now the cop just gonna be on it. But do you know the reason why I'm pulling you over right now? Because I just need to like fucking write you a ticket. You're not speaking like you're black. Like I'm pulling you over because you're black. Like
But what
nothing else.
if they ask you the wrong? But I think people would get smart too. They'd be like, "Do you know why I pulled you over today?" And be like, "Yeah, because I was speeding. I'm drunk. I'm." You
No,
know what
but
I'm saying?
you won't lie though. You won't lie. You'll tell them the truth, right? So it'll be a lot easier because you could be like, shit, I know the reason why you pulled me over because you're
Yeah,
just gonna be honest. So it's just gonna be a lot easier. All the bickering is just gonna stop. Because I'll be like,
it
shit,
would
man,
be. It
I'm
would be
drunk.
interesting.
I'm
It
drunk.
would be interesting, right? Like if they said, "Yeah, why'd you pull me over?" Yeah, you're
I'm
black. Yeah,
faded,
I'm. You know what I'm
bro.
saying? I hate niggas.
Yeah, but he'd be like, I'm faded as fuck.
Yeah, but then
I don't know,
that,
bro.
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a great question. I ain't gonna lie. That's a great question. That's a great
It's
question.
hard.
It got me thinking because when we went up live, I was thinking about it. I was like, damn. I think things would be a lot easier, bro.
I think eventually it would. I think
Right.
Yeah.
eventually it would, man. I think certain spaces couldn't exist though. Right? Like or maybe just certain people couldn't exist in the space, I guess. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like we know that people that like we work with, you could kind of feel it sometimes that the energy's weird. They not
Right.
nobody in the workplace is actually saying what they want to say
Right.
sometimes. So the only thing that I was thinking about, like, will it be better, is like there's certain people that kind of like tame themselves to be
Right.
able to work together to get a common goal done. So
Right.
maybe that doesn't happen as much.
Right.
Like if we're just so honest that we just like he says this shit and I'm like, I don't fuck with that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
we just could never really fake it enough to get some things done
Right.
in a weird way. In a
Right.
weird way. Like we know like if everybody at our job said exactly what they was
Right.
feeling, us
Right.
included,
Right.
there's no way all of us would have a job.
Right. Or maybe we just gonna. I mean, that's a great point too, right? That's a great point. Or maybe we could argue like, fuck it, he's being right. He's right? Let's just all work together. Let's figure this shit out. I'm sucking right now. One is like, I suck. Maybe I should be better. Instead of like telling, oh, Diamond, you know what, bro? Last week your performance was thin. You got nah, bro. You
You
suck.
want some bullshit. This is not
you
for you.
know,
You want some
you
bullshit,
know.
man. I want to fire
So
you now,
man,
but I can't. I got to put someone put you on PIP. I got
I don't
this
know, bro.
corporate saying I got to put you on the PIP. Man, I really don't like you either. You know
I
what I'm
really don't
saying?
like.
To be honest, bro. Like this, the tone of your voice just annoys me. Like,
So you go to work on Monday and tell everybody, man, I don't want to be here. Don't even fuck with me right now. I don't want to be
yeah,
I,
here.
don't
I
fuck
would
with me, bro.
everyone would have thicker skin for sure.
Yeah,
Right. I don't want to
Damn
be here
sure.
right
I will
now.
say in the long term. Like I said, in the
Right.
long term, initially, bro, that shit that shit would hurt, man. You know, like
and it would be interesting too. Imagine like if like if your manager and shit was just like asking you like what have you been working on today? Like little shit
Nothing.
like how much have you worked today?
Not a
Like
lot.
20 minutes?
not at
20
all.
minutes all day? Like a total of 20 minutes? I don't know. Like
I've
I've
been
been
on
here for 8 hours, but I
I've been
work
on
probably like
Instagram.
yeah, scrolling Instagram. I didn't tell you about remote escapes. I'm building that out. I'd had a
Yeah.
call right before the meeting. I was actually on that call on the clock. You know what I'm saying?
And he would be like, yeah, bro, same here, man. I was on Twitter. He gonna be like, I was
Facts.
on
Yeah,
Twitter too,
yeah,
bro.
facts though.
I
Fact.
was
You
on
probably would
Twitter.
too.
Yeah. So I think it'll be easier. We all get along, bro. I personally think it would be a lot easier because it tends to be just be real. Like you go on a date, you're not gonna waste time on a date because the girl is gonna be honest with you. I don't like you because you're short. I don't like you because this. I don't like you because you're broke. And you're gonna be like, I don't like you because you're fat. I don't like you because your breath smell. Like whatever it is, just honesty, bro. I think it's gonna help. It's gonna make people better. Because at the end of the day, if you're getting that direct feedback, you're gonna go home and work on that shit. 'Cause think about how many times like you go out with a girl or you go on a date and then things just like fizzle out and you never really don't know what really happened, right? Because she gave you some bullshit. Imagine every time people just being honest with you. Oh, I didn't go out with you because your clothes was dirty or whatever it is. Just being honest, giving you exactly what happened. I think you can use that feedback to actually improve than if I was just lying to you all the time. You know,
But
Yeah.
sometimes like
but just to play the other side of that, the truth is somebody's truth isn't everybody's truth, right? So, like we're talking opinion too.
right, right,
Like you know what I'm saying? So like there's some things that you could tell somebody that's true to you
right,
that's not necessarily true. It's like somebody just might be like you ugly.
right,
You can't really fix it. This is
right,
how you look. You
right,
know what I'm saying? But that's how they feel though.
right. That's
So it's not
good. That,
always you said that's good?
it's a good feedback though, right? If
You
someone tells
said
me I'm ugly or
UGLY, you ain't got no alibi.
then, or you say I don't like you, you're not my type. Just be honest, right? Just be honest. Whatever is on your mind, just tell that person that.
Yeah,
You're broke. You don't have a job. You live with your mom. Like I don't. Just being honest,
yeah,
bro. I think it's just gonna help people to elevate and step up. Oh shit. You know what? I need to get my bread up. I'm weak. I'm lazy. People think I don't like those things. Gonna like if you're somebody who have a growth mindset, that's going to encourage you to be a little bit better, bro. Because
Hmm.
wherever you go, people are just honest with you, just tell you how they feel all the time. I
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
Very much
know.
interesting. You wouldn't have to worry about some things anymore. That's a fact. You wouldn't have to worry. Like I wonder how that went. Nah,
Yeah.
they
There
you
be none of that.
Right,
Be none of that.
bro.
how do you
No
really
second
feel? You know what
guessing.
I mean? Like how do you really feel? Like I already know. You know what I mean? You told me, so I do agree. I think Z said it the best though. I think like in the beginning the shit would be
Right,
worse. And just worse because it would just be crazy. Like going from this to
right,
not that, like how we are now, if it just went straight to everybody being
right,
100, it'd be some killing going on, bro. It's getting you getting into some
right,
wars and some
right.
Yeah.
it's
Facts.
some it's some shit going on. It's about to pop
Right.
immediately.
Yeah,
But I guess the people that outlive whatever comes of that probably would be
yeah.
better,
Because
in the long term.
I'll even
So
say like divorce rate will even go down because dudes gonna be honest like, hey, shit, I've been in this relationship for so long, been 10 years, we've been married together. I don't. The reason I want to do something else, just being honest, just telling how you feel. Women gonna be like, shit, D, you don't act the same like you used to back in the day when we were 20 years old. You're different now. Things are not.
they gonna be like, I don't love you no more.
I don't like you no more. I don't like you no more. Like I ain't trying to be your roommate no more, man. I don't know. I
But it
think.
wouldn't even get to that point. I think like I don't know, man. It's interesting, right? Because sometimes can there be too much truth, right? Like can it be like, damn, like I had a long that can you act like it's not like that today? Today was fucked up outside of here. You
Right.
don't have to tell me what else is, you know what I mean? Like can you sometimes can we just chill? Like damn.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean? Like, is there too much of that sometimes? Like,
yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
I
know.
think it'll be late. I think it'll be better, bro. I think, but you never know, man. I just what's the next? Would you rather? Since we're kind of like close to
Yeah,
Yeah.
time.
we're running up. Yeah, we're running time. Let's get
All
into
right.
it.
So,
Got to
I
see.
should be honest, bro. I would love it.
all right. So the next question is, would you rather be publicly canceled for something you didn't do or lose all your money overnight but keep your reputation? I'm gonna repeat that question one more time. Would you rather be publicly canceled for something you didn't do or lose all your money overnight but keep your reputation?
Damn. Publicly, publicly cancel for things I didn't do. Damn. I mean, what exactly though? Like, if you say publicly cancel, right? What exactly am I losing before I answer that question? I want to know what that means if I'm publicly canceled. So it's like somebody
It's
you made a
it's tough
bid,
to it is tough to like put it in perspective, right? Like,
So
right?
like let's say for instance like let's say you got publicly canceled because like a woman claimed that you raped her and you didn't,
Right,
but you
right,
got
ooh,
publicly canceled for it. And so let's say like you lost, let's say you're a person of power, you lost all like your brand deals, like you lost any businesses, like pretty much everything is just shot. Like you didn't go to jail for it, but you lost anything like that any affiliation with you is just
Damn.
ultimately seen as a negative. But you
Right.
didn't do it.
Right.
Or you lose all your money, you lose everything, but you keep your reputation.
I I'll go
Damn.
first because it's easy. Maybe it's easy
Yeah.
to me. I'm
Go
losing
ahead.
all my money and keeping my reputation.
Right.
Facts.
I'm gonna make it
Same.
easy, man. I'm
Right.
going. I'm going with that, bro. I have faith in myself. In myself. I'm gonna make more
Hmm.
money.
Right.
Hmm.
But even though you
It's
didn't do it though, it's not like you
no, no. I
did it.
keep.
Like you didn't do it, but they just accuse you, right?
I
That's the
mean, that's
question.
just what it is sometimes, though. Like, I mean, like that's happened. That's happened to people. Like, I mean, was it the Central Park Five or what was it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that shit. Nah, bro. I ain't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't do it, man, nobody really
But you
knows.
know
Like
though,
that's the crazy thing. It's like
you
you do.
know,
I
right,
guess
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like you do. But that's maybe a couple people next to you ask you the real question, look in your eye, like, yo, did you do this shit? And you tell them straight up, nah, I didn't. You know what I mean? And we believe you. But if your public perception said otherwise, it would just be hard to maneuver.
right.
Hmm.
If that's
I mean,
like
right,
and we see that happen, even if like
right,
something comes out and then it's usually like the big story comes out like that, like Z said, and then years later, we might find out that it was not true. But more people heard the first part than the follow up. You know what I mean? And I think that yeah, for me, bro, I'm always be I'll get back to
so
the money at some
right.
point.
So
Yeah.
I want to make sure I understood the question correctly. So option one is publicly cancel and then lose it all, or like what is option one? You pub
So would you be rather be publicly canceled for something you
right,
didn't do, or lose all your money overnight but keep your reputation?
mm, publicly cancel or something.
So
Yeah,
I mean, you can think about it like from that perspective. Like,
right,
if you got accused of rape and you didn't do it, but like you
right,
lost your reputation, you're probably not ever going to be able to like whatever it is that your business is. People just
right,
aren't going to want to fuck with you for that reason alone. But you
right,
still have everything that you built.
right,
Like you still like you have your money, your
right.
assets, all that stuff. Like
I,
you
I,
have all of
I, I
it.
was I would take the latter, man, because I know that once I know within my heart I didn't do it, bro. I don't give a fuck about what people say I did. To be honest, once I can go to sleep at night knowing I didn't do it, bro, I would take that because I know that I didn't do it, right? Because I can go to sleep at night and knowing that whatever they accuse me for, I didn't do that. It's like imagine just people who there are people actually who are doing life in jail for shit they didn't do,
Yeah,
and every fucking single day they wake up like, damn, like
That's what we talk.
I'm
Kind of
here,
yeah,
what we. That's kind of
yeah.
what we
you
talking about though. We're not
know,
talking about jail, but we
right,
talking about like you will be in situations
right,
on shit you didn't do.
right,
Yeah,
but
you gonna walk into places and they gonna be like, "Hey, ain't you the dude from
right.
that article?" And you're like, "Yeah, I didn't do it
Right,
though."
but yeah,
Yeah.
That's not
I'll stick
what
with
they
that, bro.
saying. That's not
Right,
what they saying. You know what I
you
So
mean?
know, fuck their
you're
opinions,
saying
right?
you're saying you'd take the
Yeah,
former. You'd rather publicly be canceled.
correct. Because I didn't do it, bro. So I would rather live for that. You know, like people, y'all can call whatever y'all want, but I know within my heart I didn't do it. So it's not up to me to like try to like convince you otherwise that I didn't do it. You know,
Yeah.
like once I go home at night, bro, and sleep with my kids, sleep,
Yeah.
my family, I'm good. Once I can sleep at night, bro, no, I didn't do that shit. I think I'll be fine. Fuck the public. Fuck your opinions. That's my
I
take
mean,
on
I
that.
feel it. I'm definitely taking the latter though.
Right.
I'm definitely I'll lose all the money and keep my reputation because at the end of the day, my reputation, your 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 reputation is kind of everything, especially at that level,
Right.
right? Like my reputation, if I lost it all, I could still gain it all back. Like if I lost all my money, but I still had like 3 million
Now
followers,
we're talking about
you know.
like how much money, right? How much money we're talking about? We're talking about like you worked hard your entire life, bro. Like you built
Yeah.
up everything,
Let's
right?
say
You're
like
45 years old.
let's say like nothing. Let's say like 50 M's.
Yeah,
Like
50
you
years.
got
Like
like 50
you're
M's.
50 years old, man. You worked your entire life to go back to zero because of shit that people. Nah, I'd rather be publicly cancer, bro. Because I didn't do the shit, so I'd rather like imagine 50 years old. You worked your entire life, bro. At the end of retirement, and then you lose it all. I got to
Well,
start back from
Nah,
zero.
I
nah.
think
I think that matters, right? Like that
I think
matters. The
age
time
when
of
it happened, like yes, that absolutely
Right.
matters
age
when
does
it
matter,
happens.
right? Like if you're 80 with 50 mil,
Right.
why would you care, right?
Yeah,
Right.
But what I'm thinking about
like
right now.
Right
Right now.
now
I
is what
mean,
we're
no,
talking
let's
about.
right now. And we don't even got to make it crazy money. We're just talking
Right.
about what we got right now. Like, we just have to go to zero.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, we don't have to go, like, let's not make this super hypothetical this time. Let's not say we have 20 million over here.
Right.
Just be for real. Like, whatever, we don't have to say it on here, but whatever we got in our bank account right now, that goes to zero.
Right.
You, you
Still,
know what I'm saying? But we keep our reputation. And
right.
we're at this age right
Right.
now. That goes to
I mean, still
zero.
though, for me knowing that I didn't do it, I'm not gonna switch up. I'm still gonna like fuck it. Like I know within myself I didn't do it, bro. So would that mean knowing myself, I'm gonna take that. I don't care what people are saying. But once I know I didn't do it, like fucking cancel me, because I know within my heart, I think I'll be fine. I can go in public and face that backlash because I know I didn't do it. So I'm not gonna feel any guilt because I didn't do this shit. You
Yeah.
know,
I
like
mean, I
You
definitely,
wouldn't.
I feel
Yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah,
It's just,
it's the
it's
point.
not necessarily about what you feel. It's just
correct.
like your
I
public image
agree.
is you're
I
forever
agree.
just
It's
tainted.
ruined, right? It's ruined,
Like
right?
people will just never fuck with you, like on
Yeah,
any level, you know? And to me, it's just like, I think even to Pete's point earlier, even the people closest to you, like the people who care about you, like who love you unconditionally, like your parents and stuff like that. I don't think they'd ever stop loving you, or like
right,
maybe they do believe it, but I think
right,
there's always going to be that thought in the back of the mind, like, but maybe he did though. Like, what if he did? Like, you know, and to not be able to like ever for like indefinitely refute that,
right,
like that would really frustrate me because
right,
I'd be like, fam, I did not do that shit. But like
right,
it would just like linger over your head
right,
forever, bro. Like
right,
that's especially for some shit I didn't do too. Like
right. Okay,
that's
that's good. I have a follow
I
up
don't
question
know.
for you guys though. What if then behind the scene they're like, all right, you got to confess today. No one's gonna know. It's just gonna be between. Are you gonna lie, say you did it, and then your reputation will be clear? Will you do that then?
Wait, what was the question?
So the question
Huh?
is like, let's say for example they accuse you of rape, right?
Hmm.
And then even though you didn't do it, right? But now your reputation is on the line. So the cops are like, all right, you're gonna tell us you did it. Just lie and tell us you did it, and then we're not gonna say anything. But that way
Fuck
your
that.
reputation is clear. Will you do that
Hell no.
then?
Hell no,
No,
bro.
bro. Hell no.
So we that's my question though. Would you
I'm not
rather
ever
have
admitting
that?
to some shit I didn't do,
Uh,
bro.
Nah, bro.
right, but
I'm not
now
doing
because
that.
that's the question right now, right? Would you rather lie and save your reputation then, or the latter, right? So it's two outcomes, the same outcome we talked about before, right? So now it's like behind the scene, they tell you, okay, even though you didn't do this shit, you gotta admit that you do it, but no one's gonna know, just you and I right
You
now, or just the both
changing
of
the
us.
question.
That's
No,
That's
no,
not the
that's that's
question,
that's
bro.
changing
no,
the
I
question,
know,
bro.
I know it's
That's a
not the question,
completely
but I
different
already
situation.
no, I know, because that's my stand. I feel like we already answered that question, right? Because y'all say y'all gonna pick the latter, so I'm just asking the follow up question. Because that question is already done, right? Y'all say y'all gonna keep y'all
I
reputation, go
did
back
want
to
to
square zero.
before we do that, because
Before
this
we
is
move
good.
on,
Right,
Let's just hit like a couple people that what people said in here.
right,
All right. I see uh let me see.
hey,
Cass
jump
said
in here.
Cass said I don't care about my rep. If it's enough money, I ain't got to worry about keeping my bread. If it's only $30, I'll keep my rep. So I don't know how you feel. We talking about Cass. Answer the question as if like it's right now.
right.
So what
Hmm.
we don't got to say your money, whatever, but whatever it is right now. Um, Tony said she'll lose the money and make it back. Bree said the same. Keep my reputation and rebuild.
Yep.
Cass said he agreed with you. Gracie said she'll lose all the money and keep my reputation. You can always run it back up. You
Right.
can
That's
always
it.
run it back up, especially if you got a good reputation, man.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think I don't know. I'm just gonna keep because I didn't do this shit. I don't give a fuck. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. I'm not losing everything on shit I didn't do because
But
people think
Paige,
I did it.
Paige hit that point on the money though. Fighting false accusations forever would
Yeah.
be some bull. It would be tiring, bro. You know you didn't do it, but it's gonna be like that shit would be like frustrating.
Yeah.
That shit would be like, and you walk
Yeah.
in there and they're like, "Ain't you the dude that, bro?
Yeah.
I didn't fucking do that shit." Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah, bro.
everywhere you go, like your
Right.
public,
Yes.
it's
Yes,
like a
bro.
public story that it happened. It was a big
But
story,
it's
so it's like you
accusation
keep,
though, right? Because there's no proof.
yeah,
Because if no
yeah, but it's
proof, then
big. It's
It's
but it's your
that
public
that yeah,
reputation. It's like that's what people
right.
think.
yeah.
It's
But
accusations for sure,
yeah,
but like you're
Yeah.
gonna have to, whether it's true or not, you're gonna have to walk in those rooms every time,
and I walk in that
and
room every single
And
day,
you're
bro.
gonna be all
that's
my
but
life I had
yeah.
to fight.
Every single day, bro. Every
but
single
that's the point.
day
Is
I want
like
to be in there.
for
Every single
for
day.
me, like personally, like to me, there's nothing that pisses me off more than like when people like take shots or even like question like my character, like right? And for forever in that situation, your character would forever be
Right.
like you you might be a little sketch, like
It's
you a little
questionable,
sketchy, like a
right?
little iffy,
It's
like it's just
questionable, right?
forever. Like your character is always going to be questioned and judged. And at the end
Right.
of the day, like to the point we always talk about, people are going to judge
Correct.
you regardless of what it is that you
Like
do,
Cass
good
point,
or
right.
bad. But
Right.
if you're in this limelight of just like forever just being like, bro, like
Yeah, I don't have
I did well.
to do that.
Tanisha, I know Tanisha just said Chris Brown is a good example. Nah,
Right.
he actually did the shit. Like
Right. But
it's
he
not like some shit he didn't do. He actually beat Rihanna's ass. So I mean, like that's he had that coming, but he's forever labeled as an abuser, right? Like as and I mean he's caught even more DV cases, I think, since then, right? He's like it's Chris Brown has done that to himself.
Right.
Like it's not something he didn't do. But I get what she's saying, like just as far as like people questioning your character, like you're always just forever going to be judged in a very particular way. And
By people
that's just
I don't
something.
even know, bro. Those motherfuckers, you don't even know them. Why we care about them anyway? Like most of the people who
But like I
fucking
said, bro,
judging you, you don't
even
know
even
them.
even the people closest to you, I think would still
The
like
real one
they
I would know though, because I would know certain things about my friends, man. Like if I talk to
yeah,
more than
yeah,
one,
I
I
get
would
it.
know. You know what I'm
I get
saying?
it. I get it. Like I definitely like at the end of the day, we know your true character, but
Right.
like there still might be those like second thoughts, like like man, like
Well,
did
okay, my
he?
And you
question
Like
would
is
be
damn,
another.
and you would be fucking up opportunities for the people around you too sometimes.
yeah, guilty
There would be
by
that,
association,
Right.
right?
bro.
Like,
Guilty by
right. Like
association.
if that's your public
Right.
reputation, you on the Spot Network makes us look
Right.
different.
Right.
Whether you did it or
But
not,
Hmm.
it makes us
right.
look like we're like condoning it. We can
I mean,
fight
not really
with you and be
though.
like, he didn't do this shit. We can fight with you,
Hmm.
I
but
mean,
it
not.
does. We are affiliate. No, it is. It just is. It's just that's how it
I mean,
is, bro. Like no.
kind of
So
right. Like
Paige said it right. Like
right.
imagine if Chris Brown didn't, or
Hmm.
imagine if R. Kelly didn't, and then we was on like a pod with them. It doesn't matter. Like you know what I'm saying. If they did it or not, if everybody thought they did,
Hmm.
the people that's connected to them are connected to them.
Yeah. And
So let's say God.
to Tanisha's point,
Right.
you would be cool with being labeled as a rapist. Like if forever people were just
That's
like, oh
people
man, DG, he's a
opinions though,
rapist.
right? Because you didn't get charged for that, right? So for example, if you had a friend, your brother, right, and then fucking they accuse him of murder, right, and he went to jail and beat the kids, like he didn't murder that person. Will you still be cool with him when knowing all the evidence shows that he didn't murder that person? However, there are people like, oh man, I think he murdered that person. Would you still be cool with your brother? Would that change the dynamics of the relationship, right? Y'all still gonna hang out together because he was in charge. There
Hmm.
are people opinion. People are gonna have other people are gonna believe that he did that, no matter what no matter what he do, right? Other people are gonna be like, oh, I'm sure he did that. That's gonna be other people opinions forever. So are you not gonna be cool with your brother, your friend no more because he beat a murder charge when he didn't do that? So that's kind of what I'm saying. Like even though like I wasn't, if I was found guilty, that's different, right?
Hmm.
But other people opinion, bro. Like I wasn't found guilty of that. Other people think I did it, and I went to try, and I got acquitted for those things I didn't do.
Hmm.
So I personally wouldn't care. Like I wouldn't. That person would still be my friend. I don't think that's going to change the relationship. Once that person wasn't found guilty, I think being found guilty, like R. Kelly, yeah. And then when he's out, you don't want to be cool with him because he already went to jail for that. They found him guilty of that, right?
Hmm.
But I don't know. I just said for me, it would be a little different. I personally wouldn't care that much. It'll be hard. Don't get me wrong, right? Because people are always gonna look at you as that
Hmm.
person. But the fact that just knowing within myself, bro, I didn't do it. I feel like I can go to sleep at night, man, knowing that what fuck what people are saying. I didn't do that shit.
I'm just saying I could sleep better
Right.
losing some money.
Right.
I
But what
Facts.
can lose some money, bro. I didn't been to zero. It
Yeah.
sucks.
right.
I didn't been to
Yeah.
zero and bounce back.
But what if though? Okay, let's say what if you like build your life, man? You worth like 150 mil, then right? Does that change the
It
answer?
does change it. It changed my
Um,
well. It changes. It just I think more age than money
okay,
changes
150
for
mil
me.
at this age, 150 mil at this current age. Would you rather go back to zero or
If I know how to make 150 mil, I know how to make another one, and my reputation still
Yeah.
intact. I know how to make it
That's what
again.
I'm saying.
If
Like
I
you,
made it by 33, if I made it by 33, I could probably make it again by 43.
yeah. I got all my resources. Like I still, like I said, if I lost all my money, but I still got like 3 million followers, like, and my reputation. Like, I still got all everything that I need to succeed. I still got all the relationships, like all that shit. Yeah, bro, I can absolutely make
I
another.
mean, it
We're talking
depends, yes and no, right?
just
'Cause
about money too. It's just the money that we're not
It's
losing
just the
anything
money
else in that
piece, bro.
situation. It's just the money. Money is, bro. That shit is a concept. You know, once you learn everything about money, you know that it's
correct.
really just a concept.
But you're
You could
right.
get credit the next day to cover your bills.
It's
Get the,
different
like
though.
you
We're talking
could
about
like
150 M. You know, like sometimes, like
that's
the
cool.
timing, the situation, that
That's
those
cool. I'm
times are not going
33.
to be the same.
If I'm 63, I'm answering different. But I'm 33.
Yeah, fuck, I'm
By
still
40,
going.
by 40, I'll be, to be honest, by 33, so if I'm 33, I have 150 mil. I'm not gonna be all the way back by the end of this year, but I'm gonna be in a good spot by the probably like in like 2 years. I'm not probably still won't be 150 mil. But if in 2 years I was at like 500,000 and by 40 I was back at like 10 mil or something. Like you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I don't like by the time I get to 63, I'm gonna be by you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm
I get the money part, right? But I'm not just willing to lose everything I have for people for fucking accusation. What people think of me. That's my main
I do
concern.
get it.
I'm not
It's a
willing to
point.
lose what people say about me. I don't care, bro. Like say that shit. I'm not willing to like, cause it's like you giving in to people, right? You losing everything because people have opinions of you, bro. Like you didn't do that shit. You know who you are as a person. So I don't
It's a
give a fuck
damaging
what people think of
one
me.
though.
Yeah.
It's a damaging one though. It's not like, I heard he was I
I would
don't
consider
know.
murder.
I
Like you
heard
would
he
consider
thinks
murder, right?
LeBron is
Right.
I heard he
Let's say
thinks LeBron is
murder.
better than Jordan. Yeah, it's a damaging one. It's one that's like dangerous. It's one that like you have kids
To
and the
who?
schools is looking at you weird. Like I don't know if your kid can come here. I heard some things about your dad that you know what I'm saying. It's more
Yeah.
than it's like public reputation. It is important whether we act like it is or not. It is when it's like that
Mhm.
serious. It's not when it's like
Right.
he said he likes LeBron over Jordan, or
Right.
you know what I'm saying, he's an
Right.
Eagles fan.
Right.
That's
But
not
yeah.
it. That's whatever,
Yeah.
but
But
we
still,
talking about
Yeah.
I'm
like
not.
the
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not.
but
I'm not. I'm like.
I
I'm
think
not.
to your point, DG too. Like, do I think we care too much about public
Yeah. We
perception?
do.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I also think we care too much about money too. Like
Right.
I also like at the end of the day, I think you say the same thing about money.
No, but I worked hard for
I
that though. It's different though. It's
yeah,
not
I
about
get
money,
it.
right?
you worked
I
hard
I
for
get
your
it.
worked hard for that.
reputation though.
But I worked
Bro,
hard for
Right.
you
my
work hard for
reputation,
your
bro. Like,
reputation, bro.
Correct. But I didn't do it. That's the thing. I worked hard for that, but I didn't do it, right? So I'm okay with that. I didn't do
I get it. I
shit.
get it, bro.
But
I get it.
what I'm saying is it's almost like this. It's almost like if you had your reputation, right? It's
Right.
almost I almost think of that like almost like a Dave Chappelle. We
Yeah.
was talking about all the other sides, right? But like a Dave Chappelle, right? Is like he walked away from 50 M. So like they say he didn't take the money to keep but he kept his reputation intact. He gonna be back good. He's gonna be back good eventually. But he was, like it's like almost walking away from the money to keep the reputation.
Oh, that's different.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
would do what he did.
Like
That's different. I feel like, yeah, that's completely different. And once you're at a
not
certain
really.
level, yeah, certain.
We saying if like the money was pulled because it's almost like we were about to get
Right.
150 mil and they pulled it for whatever reason. They didn't agree with something we did,
Oh
but we
yeah.
kept our
Oh yeah.
reputation.
I mean,
We're gonna
that's
get back.
right. Yeah. I mean, that's different. I would take that right. Right. Let's say if I was supposed to do something crazy that's gonna ruin my reputation for a certain amount, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. Right. I'm gonna walk away from that situation like Dave Chappelle. Right. But it's just like, especially this scenario, man. Like knowing that I didn't do it, bro. Like I think yeah, it's
And,
hard.
and, and,
Like I see
and
both sides. Like Cass say, I
yeah,
see like
It,
both sides make
I
sense.
do see both sides.
and
It's
Pete,
hard,
Pete,
man.
you
Like
brought up a good point too. Like it doesn't just impact you; it does impact the people around you too. Because like we said, guilty by association. Like like let's say like your mom is out trying to like
Hmm.
get a crib or something like that, and they're like. The sellers are like, oh, like, are you the mother of such and such? And she's like, yeah, like, oh, actually, we ain't selling. Nah, we like, it's just like you never know like how far that like reputation goes. Like reputation, it goes extremely far,
but you
and
didn't
and
do
it's
it.
not just but I get it,
Only
but
you know
I
that
got
for
I
sure.
got a court, right?
only
Only
you
you
know
know
But we
that.
that
went
though.
to
Only you
court.
know that.
I'm assuming that we went to court for this, right? I'm assuming that we went to court and then
Let's just say it
like
was just forever pending. Like nobody,
no,
nobody
I
ever
feel like
really
it
knows.
Yeah,
gotta be one of those situations you go to court and then you got to court for that, but
It
the
ain't
repetition is
because
there.
that'll close. That'll say that
it
you
would
get
be
to.
Right, that's a
it
repetition.
would
No, it's still
it would
there.
be
Like
okay. So
OJ had that repetition,
I
right?
was gonna say
OJ had that repetition
OJ would
forever.
be OJ would be a prime example. Like let's say
But he
like
actually did that. that shit though.
Yeah,
It's different,
yeah.
right?
But like, let's say, like in this hypothetical situation, like let's say you didn't rape her, but like all the evidence and shit like that, like it almost seemed irrefutable, but like you ultimately ended up getting away with it, and you did get
Nah, that's
accused,
different.
like
Then
you did
that's
get
different.
acquitted
That
of rape,
I
bro.
mean, no,
But
it's different,
everyone
dude.
was forever think like, nah, like DG's a rapist, bro. Like,
Nah, but that's different though, because like the evidence are there. The evidence are pointing me like probably now the evidence suggests that the probability of me doing that is higher. So that makes me like likely of doing that, right? I'm just talking about things that there's like no evidence to show that I did that. People just assume I did it. It's just word of mouth. I'm not. I don't care. It's word of mouth. You know, like people just saying that. There's no evidence to actually put me in that position that I actually did that. You know, once the evidence shows, then it's different, right? Then at the end of the day, people gonna be like, damn, did he really do
well,
that
you
shit or
never
not?
like okay, so like you never know. Like, it could be some crazy shit,
For
bro. Like you was at
sure.
the girl's house that night, like the camera footage caught you like walking out of her crib and shit like that, and all of a sudden she went and like claimed rape, like everything like seems stacked against you. Like she went and got a rape kit, like it obviously like was positive, whatever the case may be.
It was
Like
negative. It got to be negative there, right? Because at the end of the day, if it's positive, they put him in the position of doing it, right?
Well,
We're talking about
what if you did like something with her, but then
yeah, like
somebody else
y'all
did?
did
It was
something.
like a party or something, and then you know what I mean? Like kind of similar to what happened with Tupac, right? Like it was a party and they say like he might have messed with her, but then after that some other shit happened, or even if
Yep.
I
he didn't
mean,
mess with her, he didn't mess even if he didn't mess with her, something happened around him, but it was on him because he was the name. So
Hmm.
we're talking about something like that. Like
Hmm.
if you did do something
I
with her,
mean,
but then she claimed you did the shit.
I mean, there,
You
it,
knew that you didn't. Maybe
right,
you
but
and
the
her.
evidence suggests that I feel like now if we have evidence to point me in that direction, that's pretty much right. That's what jury does, right? They look at evidence, right? They make their decision based on evidence. I feel like if we're
Hmm.
talking about that, then that's a different scenario, right? Because we have evidence to actually show, oh, there's a likelihood that he did this. I'm talking about there's no evidence to point out that I did that. Like people just falsely accuse me of that, right? Then I will fucking I don't give a fuck about my repetition. But if there are evidence to point like he was there, he had sex with her, all those things now, then you create a case that people can also actually argue that man, that's a possibility that he did that. But it was, but so I feel like with evidence makes it a little bit harder now, right? Then I have to like my answer might shift a little bit. But I was just talking about there's no evidence to actually put me in that situation. But she just say, oh, I raped her, or God forbid, I killed somebody, and then there's no evidence to actually show I was there. But people just decided to just go with that opinion. Like I personally wouldn't give a fuck
But
about my
there's got
reputation.
to be a reason why people would believe it
I mean,
though.
it's a hypothetical
Like,
situation though, so it can't be a reason. It's a hypothetical
but I mean,
Is it
like
no,
situation.
like
just like reasonable cause or something like
like
you know what I'm
it
saying?
has like it can't just be like something that was just concocted out of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
like of course, like that's just like that's just dumb, right? Like okay, like I could care less. But we're talking about like really there's the possibility like you were caught on camera, like type shit. Like a prime example they brought it up earlier was like the Jonathan Majors, right? That's a prime example of like this entire situation,
Right.
right? Like there is evidence against you, but at the end of the day, you knew you didn't do it, and you ultimately did get acquitted. But everybody believes that you did it, though. Like you just feel and look guilty, like is what it is. That is forever gonna stain your reputation, bro. Forever.
Ooh, we get him, Bree.
The president's example. Why?
Absolutely.
So what
Get
is
him, Bree.
that? Did he do it or not? Did he do it? Did
But
he do it? I don't know.
but the president has he has white privilege to his factor. He's the epitome of white privilege, is what it is. So he that boy can get away with anything.
Yeah, man. I don't know. This is a hard one, bro. This is a good one, man. But I also have to go at it. If I didn't do it, man, I'm not. Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
reputation, bro.
Like I said, bro, I'm telling you, bro, like having to defend yourself forever, like over some rape shit, like it's just you didn't do it, but everyone in life, everyone but your people, like
Right.
everyone but outside of your direct inner circle thought that you were guilty, bro. That shit would just become so taxing, like down the road of just like, bro, like this
I
shit is
wouldn't, and
just
if it was that serious, like what you're saying, see, if it was that serious, I just even wouldn't want to put that on my people. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I
mhm.
just wouldn't even want to put that on my people. Like, put it on my niece or
Right.
put it on y'all. Like, y'all, I,
Right.
I know how I
Right.
am. I would probably be like, yo, bro, I'm stepping away from the pod, bro.
Right.
I'm not.
But
Just
that's the
you
thing,
got like,
right?
no, you didn't do that shit, bro. Just being, I'd be
Right,
like, nah, I'm
right,
not. I know how I am. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to have y'all going through the ringer with me and we fighting 100 people on here every
right.
night that's trying to say you did that bullshit. That you know what I'm saying?
I
You know what I
mean,
mean?
Facts.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
then we fighting and shit the whole time. I'm like, bro, I had to just step away from the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna have y'all and y'all support them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do the shit. I didn't do the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
I'm not doing that
that's
shit.
a
Yeah.
great quote, right? You can't really control what people say about you, but you can control how you respond to it. And I feel like that would
In
be.
this example, you can.
No, I can really control what people are saying, right? If I know I didn't do it, right, I can really control that. It's up to them to like believe me or not. So, but like I said, once I know my conscience clear, bro, I would just have
Yeah,
to
we
just. It
would
is
be
what it
booming.
is.
Yeah, we'd be
It is
booming.
what it
we would
is.
we would be booming though.
Everybody be like, "Hey, DT, that rapist ass, fuck him. We can't stand his bitch ass. How y'all still
I
working
know
with his ass?"
DB.
I, hey, hey, just
DG,
know,
DG still be on there like, "I'm bomb,"
hey, just know that I'm
because
gonna
I'm
support.
bomb.
If I know my friend, just know that I'm gonna support that person. Like I don't care. Like I'm with you, bro. Like I'm with you. We're riding together. Like I'm the associate. Like fuck it. Like once I know, right? You didn't do that shit. I'm the only one who know. Fuck the opinions of others, man. We pulling together. We're gonna be on the pod together and taking shots. You know, like fuck it.
But something at
I,
that serious is past just fuck it, bro. That puts other people in danger.
yeah, but I'm not losing. I'm not losing everything that I worked for that for other people's opinion. Yeah, I'm sticking to the
Yeah,
guns and that. Yeah, it's hard. Like
You have to
I lose. Like yeah,
you have to
I lose.
I like when we're on different sides on these questions.
I
So like
yeah,
it
yeah
goes too easy if we're all on the same
yeah.
side. So it's
I
three
yeah.
get
of
it,
us, but
bro.
usually at least one of us is on a different
Yeah,
side. So
I'm on the
Yeah,
other side today, bro. I'm not. I'm not.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not willing to like give in to what people say, bro. Especially when I've
yeah.
worked so hard for my
No,
entire
I
life,
get that
man.
point too.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel like, and it's
bro.
hard, right?
Yeah.
Either way, like
I'm
it
going
would
to
be
Dubai.
difficult. It's
150. Yeah, we're going to Dubai. Fuck it. We're going to Dubai. We're going to live out there. You know what's going to know about us in Dubai, man. Fuck it.
I meet you in
I'm.
3 years, bro. I catch you by your 37th birthday, bro. Just go back to
I'm,
Dubai in your
I'm
37th.
going
I'll
to
meet you out
Dubai.
there. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
You know what I mean?
I'm going
I'm
to
a get
Dubai.
back, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's a hypothetical situation, but I can see it though. The funny thing, there's actually people in real life who might be going through shit like this. There are
Absolutely.
people who are in jail right now, bro, locked up for crime and shit they didn't
Yeah.
do, and they got to
Yeah.
live their entire life arguing shit like that, bro. I didn't do it, so it's crazy that we're actually talking about this, but there are people who actually living this life, man.
hmm Yeah.
So
That's it, man.
That's the thing.
And shout out to them real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? For everybody who's going through something that they didn't do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they stuck in positions that they really can't prove otherwise, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That shit happens way too many times, especially to our people, man. So
Yeah. I was gonna say, especially
shout out
people that look
to
like
them one
us,
time.
for sure. For
I
sure,
mean,
man.
Shout out to those people going through it, man. If you know, I know you probably won't hear this, but if you ever do,
right.
man, keep your head up.
Right. But isn't that what sometimes the plea do is though? When you go to court, sometimes you didn't do something, or just tell us you did this part, and they were just gonna let you out. Isn't
Sometimes.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, or they like this is what they always do. It's like if you get they try to get you with a case, they'll put like 3 to 5 cases on you, and they'll be like,
Right.
all right, if you plead guilty to this one, we'll drop all the other ones.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's how
hmm
they usually try to get you. That's why you be
Yeah.
like they have 3 counts of this, 1 count of this, 2 counts of this. You ever hear that shit type of
Right.
shit? You know what I'm
Right.
hmm
saying? And
Right.
that's what they're trying to do. Is
Yeah.
they always you never usually get if you ever get like you see it, you never really get hit for one thing. It's gonna be like 3 things. You know, if they catch you for a DUI, it's gonna be speeding. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, swerving, tail light out, DW, you know, DUI. You know what I'm saying, and then they're gonna be like, yo, if you plead guilty to this, then you know what I mean.
Like I was speeding though, Mr. Officer. I was going 25, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you going too slow. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
like
saying?
okay, so like let's say to put this hypothetical situation into a real scenario. Let's say you didn't do it and they were willing to drop all the charges, but you did have to plead guilty to sexual misconduct and and
Ooh,
register as a sex offender. So you have to register as a sex offender and like you got sexual misconduct like on your record, but you got everything else was dropped though. Like, rape charges, all that stuff was dropped, but you had to
and
plead
you know
guilty
you
to the sexual
didn't do
misconduct.
it.
And you know you didn't do it. And you know you didn't do it. But they knew the odds were stacked up against you, so you had to accept the plea deal.
Right. Because I mean, you're still gonna go to jail, right? If
No, no,
you...
no. I'm not saying you have to file as a sex offender and you have to do community service. Like you have like, let's say you got like
This
four,
podcast is
you got four,
done.
We
you got
we thought we
you
was
got
gonna have a short episode today. We said we was gonna do 1 hour. 2 hours later,
And see, it's always the would you rather that takes forever. I realize that
yeah,
the would you
yeah.
rather that takes forever.
We might just have to
G
just
trying to
do
make this harder.
only that. That's the whole episode.
That's gonna take us another 25 minutes to answer that question.
uh, damn.
Like why?
You know, we gotta make it hard, man. We gotta make it
I
hard. So
mean,
it's
the
just
first
like
one was already hard, bro. The first one's freaking hard. Like, how hard are you trying to make this? The
all I'm
first
saying,
one, I'm.
all I'm saying is, but we just gotta put it. We gotta put it into like a real life scenario, man.
Oh
Like you
my
know, you are
god.
innocent, but you plead guilty, and you ultimately you just get sexual misconduct. You gotta file, register as a sex offender, and you have to do 400 hours of community service. You out of there,
And you
Yeah,
keep it 150
and you keep
million.
it 150 M's.
You
Take my
see,
money, man. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back, man. My reputation, my
next
reputation good, man.
episode, next episode, we're gonna answer this
I'm
question.
yeah. We solid, man. We're gonna have to post this on the page because this was a good one for sure. This was a good ass question.
Oh
I would
yeah,
be interested to see what people would say to that.
Yeah, this is a hard one. I have to think about this one. This is a hard one. I gotta like, actually go and think about this one a little bit. This one is
yeah,
hard. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
but
Well, let's call it, man. I know we went way longer than we wanted to with
right,
this, man,
right.
but we appreciate everybody for helping us making it long today. You know, for having opinions. This is one of those conversations that's like
Right.
people's sometimes in this position, but like it makes you think, man.
Right.
It
yeah,
makes you think for
yeah,
sure. So
And it's always a good one, man. When we all don't agree, right? We
yeah.
all have like different opinions.
I don't think we ever always all agree.
Right,
It's just
right,
enough of us that one of us got
right,
to be on the other
right.
side. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
Right. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's in the building, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kaz. Hey, Kaz, we on the same boat, bro. We taking our money. Fuck that repetition, bro. Kaz and I gonna be in Dubai.
Hey, it's just gonna be y'all.
it's y'all two, man.
I mean, y'all gonna
Just
join us
y'all.
because y'all know we didn't murder that motherfucker. So y'all gonna be like, DG didn't murder him. It's all So
My life don't even change then. Go
yeah.
fly me out, brother.
Fuck
Fly me out.
yeah.
I lost some bread today, bro. You got me.
I got you.
I still fuck with you, but I know you didn't do that
As
shit.
long
I
as you
lost some
got
money
us.
today.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, fly me out, man.
All right, boys, man. It was a good one, man. Shout out to y'all always, bro.
Yeah,
All right,
It was
man.
a
absolutely.
good episode.
Shout out to everybody that tapped in, man. We appreciate y'all always rocking with us every Monday. We'll be back next Monday, and we'll actually be
Come
in
on,
Africa. Ramon and I are going to be in Africa next Monday, man, and we
come on,
still gonna
man.
get it. So
We
tap
still
in
gonna
with
get it,
us
bro.
next Monday from the motherland, man. It's gonna be a great episode. We're gonna share more details later, but yo, really tap in with us next week. We really appreciate y'all rocking. Yeah, but other than that, man, y'all be blessed. Y'all have a good
For
week,
sure.
and we'll see y'all next time.
All right,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
Take care. Bye.
Yes, sir.